Let's play some Battle Stadium singles today. I'm just loading up a random hyper offense team. It's not even really hyper offense, it's just mindless offense. 6 offensive Pokemon I thought would be fun to slap together on a team. It looks like to start off today we've got an opponent with a really serious team. Looking at the team matchup, they do have a Scizor, so my back's Caliber will struggle against that. My Mimikyu also won't necessarily appreciate it. My Mimikyu is fighting type though, so the Scizor does have to watch out for that. I think that I do want to bring Tauros, but it will struggle against the Dragapult and Rotom Wash. Man, my opponent just brought nothing. No fun for me team today. Let's lead off with Meowscarada. I think that Meowscarada does do okay against my opponent. And then I'm going to bring Tauros just to punch things. And then I think I need to bring Mimikyu. Yeah, sure done. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to go. Look at my opponent's team. Very tryhard. I guess I want to say tryhard. Dragapult is, of course, a fantastic Pokemon. Golden Go is a fantastic Pokemon. They brought Triple Ghost, which is somewhat exploitable by a Dark type. But they do have Scizor, and I don't really have a good Dark type on my team. Meowscarada has been one of the most surprising Pokemon this generation, in the sense that it's a Protean starter, but it's bad. Not just because Protean was nerfed, although that's a big part of it, but also because it just really doesn't have a ton of power behind it, I feel. And there's so many other Pokemon that are just much more powerful than it is. Alright, so leading matchup wise, this is interesting. So I am an adamant Meowscarada, but I think we can make this work. I'm just going to click knockoff here. I don't know how useful Toxic Spikes will be. They're going to have a Rotom potentially or a Scizor in the back. And Toxic Spikes is only really good against things that might be Focus Sash. I don't know if that's too big of a deal here. A knockoff Life Orb, which is going to be really useful in making this a lot weaker. So as Setsutor stands up, that makes a lot of sense. Here I'm just going to go for Flower Trick. Because I was a Dark type, they still can't really Shadow Sneak me effectively. As they go for Play Rough, which is of course a fantastic option. I am Focus Sash though, so I'm not too concerned about that. And now we see if they decide to terrestrialize into a fighting type. If not, Sucker Punch probably won't kill, I gotta say. But it's still, oh wow. It did kill. What do you know? Because I guess I lost stab on my Flower Trick. That's why I did so little. And that's one of the things. Meowscarada with Protean is actually not as strong as normal Meowscarada, in my opinion. It's nice when you go for a Play Rough or when you go for U-turn, but if you are not choice-locked Meowscarada, I almost feel like running just normal Overgrow is actually the preferred option. Okay, this may be choice scarfed. If not, either way, I think I'm just going to knock off here. I think I'll have more utility from knocking off a random item than from killing it with Flower Trick. And we can see here that it actually would have probably healed back with Citrus Berry. So I think I might have left it lower this way compared to if I had gone for Flower Trick. It would have been non-stab. And then it would have gotten back at Citrus Berry if it had even taken down to 50%, which it probably would have. So I think I made out better in the end there. And we actually know what their final 2 Pokemon are, which is absolutely fantastic. I can go out to Tauros, intimidate it, and go for Choice Band Close Combat, which is exactly the kind of matchup we want. They didn't bring Dragapult, which was fantastic. So I can go for, that's Fire type, I don't want to do that. Let's just Close Combat here. I am Jolly, so I should outspeed unless they're Choice Scarfed, as they are Focus Sash, which is fine, I think. This is where I guess the what do you call it? The Toxic Spike would have been useful. Now I have Shadow Sneak in the back, so I'm absolutely not concerned about this. We're just gonna stay in. Oh, come on. Close combat, there we go. Ice Shard. This is obvious. Very, very expected. So my Baxcalibur obviously can't run Focus Sash because I have Focus Sash on the Meowscarada. I chose to run a Chople Berry on my Baxcalibur because I think that Mach Punch, Close Combat, these are things that are pretty commonly seen. So I think that Chople Berry is not a bad option. However, Lumberry is another option that you can run. I don't really feel like Baxcalibur has the best defenses, so I don't really think that running a Lumberry is that great, just because setting up wise, how easily you're going to set up, I don't know. Okay. I'm going to click Play Rough. If they go to a Ghost type, if they go to an Electric type, I don't care about that kind of thing. So they are going to Terrasilize here. Let's see what they end up Terrasalizing into. If it's a Fire type, that's sort of annoying. But they are just pure Electric, which doesn't help them in any way, shape, or form, I think. And we know they're not Choice Scarfed. Yeah, there we go. So my opponent just loses there. Terrastalization is different from Dynamax in the sense that if you don't need to Dynamax or Terrastalize, then there's absolutely no benefit to doing so. Whereas Dynamax, there was almost never a time where you wouldn't want to Dynamax. But yeah, we win our first game on the ladder, which, while that isn't necessarily too surprising, given that it's the bottom of the ladder, at the same time, if we saw our opponent's team, they brought nothing but threats. Like, those were really strong Pokemon, not only just in this particular metagame, but also in general, right? Golden Go is a fantastic Pokemon, Dragapult is a fantastic Pokemon, Scizor is quite good, and Mimikyu is the Battle Stadium singles champion, right? Like, having the ability to have a free hit no matter what, plus Shadow Sneak, plus Trick Room, plus so many other options. Mimikyu is just a very good Pokemon in general. So that wasn't too surprising. All right, this time we're facing against a Maushold, so I know I'm definitely going to bring Mimikyu because I don't want to lose to a Maushold today. Thank you very much. I think... Is Veluza any good here? Veluza might be decent. Unless you want to lead off with a Veluza, just because I want to lead off with it, right? I don't know how good it is, but just because I can, I think I will. And I'm definitely going to bring Mimikyu, like I said, because I don't want to lose to Maushold. And then finally, I think that Toxtricity might actually not be too bad in this matchup. I'm not sure, though. We'll find out. I don't really play too much Battle Stadium singles. It's definitely a different kind of metagame compared to Smogon, but it has its own charm to it. The ability for you to pick 3, bring 6, definitely brings a different dynamic to the game versus I bring 6 and you bring 6 and we just have these 6 Pokemon. Because there's an information loss. My opponent doesn't know which 3 I'm bringing. I don't know which of my opponent's 3 Pokemon that they're bringing. And there's an opportunity cost to each of the Pokemon that I bring or don't bring. So as opposed to certain games in 6v6 where you just know, oh, this Pokemon is just good. And it's going to invalidate the rest of their team. I don't know what I'm trying to say, man. Wait, is that Tinkaton on the floor? Oh, it's not anymore on the floor. So that's good. Alright, so I'm going to click... Well, Drill Run isn't boosted. I think I just should click Aqua Cutter. I am a water type. Aqua Cutter is boosted by Sharpness, and just because Drill Run is super effective, I don't think that's great. I may need this later on, and this Tinkaton may very well be Focus Sash. But I think this is good to get rid of still, because I don't want to Thunder Waving my team and being really annoying. They actually don't even bring it down to its Sash, which I'm guessing it had. I've been a little bit surprised at Tinkaton, just in terms of how it's been used. You look at this Pokemon with a really crazy strong Gigaton Hammer move, and you think, oh, this is going to be another offensive Fairy Steel type. But Tinkaton has ended up being more of a Stealth Rock, knockoff, Thunder Wave kind of Pokemon. And a large part of that, of course, just comes down to the fact that it has really bad attack stat. But it's still very surprising. They're going to go to Rotom Wash, maybe? I can't read Japanese, but I'm guessing that's Red and Wash. Oh, it's Golden Go. Oh. I wonder if they're Choice Scarfed. They don't know that I'm Choice Scarfed, do they? If they were more defensive. So they may think that they can Shadow Ball now. Or something. I don't even know if Golden Go gets Shadow Sneak. Yeah, there we go. Well, that's fantastic. My opponent just threw that away entirely. Now they can go back into their Tinkaton, but Fake Out won't kill me. So, looking good. Once again, what is this Pokemon? I don't know. Garchomp. Hey, I'll take it. In fact, this is a Pokemon that I actually think I'm going to see how much Aqua Cutter does from a Terastallized Pokemon. Because I don't think this would be Choice Scarf Garchomp. I think it would be Sword Stance, if anything, on this team. And having the extra boost, this is just a neutral hit, right? Because it's Dragon and Ground, and I don't think you Terastallize into a Grass type or into a opposing Water type against me. I mean, you could always be Water type Garchomp with the Aqua Tail, but I don't think you would be. And having this extra boost is great. I guess Dragon. They could Terastallize into Pure Dragon. That would be something I didn't consider. Oh, what? They are Water. Crazy. Okay. So good on them for having that particular option. I don't think it's going to be too big of a difference. I did a decent chunk, considering. Now we're just going to die. Oh, wow, we didn't die? I'm surprised at that. Also, one thing we should note here is Aqua Cutter a contact move? I feel like it is. And if it is that's the case, then it's very interesting because I didn't take any Rocky Helmet, Rough Skin kind of stuff. So my opponent may just have the Sand Veil. So I don't know if this is the best kind of Garchomp to have. Truth be told, probably what happened is they probably got this in, I think oh, that was great, okay. They probably got this from a Terra Raid battle. Terra Raid Dens are something I want to talk about in the future. But I think that they're one of those things that are really valuable because, or at least they've made them valuable artificially. Because it takes so long to get shards that one really good way of getting the specific Terra type you need for a Pokemon is literally just go in and wait until you can find the specific den you need. Right, so if I'm looking for an Aqua Tail Garchomp, I don't want... Okay, so I guess Aqua Cutter is not a contact move. Okay, that's good to know. I wasn't sure about that, because Psycho Cut is not a contact move, but Leaf Blade is. It's not like all cutting moves aren't contact moves. I don't know the rules. Alright, we're a Ghost type, so we can't even get faked out. So let's see what we can do here against Tinkaton. This Mold Breaker, which actually means I'm probably going to die here. Drain Punch here, just because I can. Sort of fun with the move. We actually almost kill it. If I had Shadow Claw, I think we would have just won right there. So Gigaton Hammer is going to kill me. That was Rocky Helmet too. That was a surprising amount of damage for a ostensibly defensive Pokemon. Okay, so now my opponent has Fake Out, Stealth Rock, Gigaton Hammer. I don't think you have anything that can kill the Toxtricity. So I'll take that. Now we go into our Toxtricity. I don't know my speed tiers for this Pokemon, but like I said, I don't think that you can do anything to me on this front. You've already Terastallized. Now I can just click Overdrive without having to worry about them turning into a ground type. Cool. So that's game 2. So I lost my train of thought there. What I was trying to say is that when you are trying to get a Pokemon of a certain Terra type, you need to either find it in a Terra Raid battle, or you need to grind 50 shards. The problem is that in any given raid, you can only get, a maximum of like 6 shards on average. So and that's if you're lucky. So if you are trying to get 50, and that's going to take you at least, 9 or something, 9 battles to get it. And that's, again, if you're lucky. not only does that mean that you have to get the 5-star or the 6-star raids, but that you also have to complete them successfully. Because there's a lot of raids that you don't complete successfully. So it takes a lot of time. So if you can just find the Pokemon with the correct Terra type in a den, then you can save yourself so much time that way. To cut a long story short. Alright, Dragapult, Mimikyu, Garganacl is really annoying. So I think we definitely need to bring Mimikyu for that. And also Meowscarada probably is a good option as well. Meowscarada, Tauros, and Mimikyu I think are going to be the options here. Mimikyu is quite useful, as we've seen, and Tauros is really good for the Amoonguss, or at least it's passably good for the Amoonguss. And Meowscarada has the knockoff, fake out, and stuff like that. We'll see if the Tauros is necessary for the Sylveon. I don't know if you would bring Sylveon. I do have Toxtricity, which is a interesting matchup. But otherwise, Sylveon actually does pretty decently now that I think about it. I don't know if you'd bring Rotom Wash. Maybe you would. My opponent does definitely have a really scary spread of Pokemon. But there are a lot of Pokemon that we've seen 1,000 times, right? Dragapult is something you're going to see a lot of. It's just a very good Pokemon. Mimikyu is something you're going to see in like every single team. Even Amoonguss is a fairly decent option. You can get a Spore off as many times as you want because it's not... There's no sleep clause in this. And it's just good to have a bulky pivot on a lot of Pokemon that are otherwise threats. Garganacl was something I want to try out at some point. Alright, fantastic. I was hoping that they would lead off with this. So I'm going to start with the knockoff. I don't want them to go for a status move or to switch out. I could definitely have Sucker Punch, so I don't know if they'd want to stay in on this. They could always trash slice into a dragon type and go for Dragon Darts, and then I'd feel really stupid. But if they do that, then I can go into Mimikyu in the after. Dragon type Dragapult with Dragon Darts. Actually, I should probably breed one of those myself and then use it in a future video because that sounds really powerful as a lead. As they go for Dragon Darts normal and it does not kill me. So I will take that. Now I'm a dark type. I'm actually really surprised that that didn't kill me. And wow, I killed them one hit. So they're not Focus Sash. How is that so weak? They were Choice Scarf. I guess you'd have to be pretty confident that you can outspeed me in order to make that kind of play. Because I guess some Meowscaradas are also running Choice Scarf. But I'm running 0 bulk on my Meowscarada and that Dragon Darts did not kill me from full. I'm gonna look at that calc after this battle. Or after this video, I suppose. Okay. I don't want them to set up a Swords Dance here, so I'm just gonna knock off again. I'm still Dark type. So I don't expect them to Shadow Sneak. At least not this turn, when you can clearly, easily set up a Swords Dance for free. Okay, at the very least they don't go for the Shadow Sneak. Let's see if they set up a Swords Dance. And their Life Orb, just like I am. And the Swords Dance. This is all expected. Mimikyus, I feel like are going to run basically the same exact set with maybe some slight variations. I'll Sucker Punch this turn. At this point, because they are busted, they have a lot less utility. I don't expect them to try to outplay it or anything. And now we can Shadow Sneak and get the kill. Cool. So now I will go into my own Mimikyu, I think. And I have Shadow Sneak of my own, which should kill them unless they're normal type Mimikyu, which I suppose they could be. That'd be a really weird anti-Mimikyu tech. Be a normal type Mimikyu, so you surprise your opponent on the first turn, get off the Shadow Sneak to bust their disguise, and in the following turn you still cannot be Shadow Sneaked. And unless they are also normal type Mimikyu, then you get to Shadow Sneak them for the kill before they can do anything to you. That'd be a super annoying Mimikyu to have. This is probably a bred Mimikyu because it's shiny, assuming my opponent's Pokemon are legit. So it may not be a weird Terra type, but there's always a possibility that this is a normal Mimikyu. And let's just hope it's not. Is it a normal Mimikyu? It is a normal Mimikyu. Man, I said the thing it was going to be. Okay. So they Shadow Sneak here. So I look like a fool, but that is what it is. I think I'm actually going to go hard into Tauros here, because I need to save Mimikyu, probably. It has priority, which is really useful. And instead, Intimidate from Tauros should get Mimikyu down to +1. +1 Shadow Sneak. Hopefully won't do too much damage to me. And then it'll all come down to how much speed they have in their Mimikyu. I'm not sure how that'll play out. So I definitely misplayed there. I had my disguise. There was a reason to preserve, if I could, my disguise. But knowing that normal type Mimikyu is an option, I should probably have gone for Drain Punch. Well, definitely not Drain Punch. I should have gone for Play Rough. That's what I should have gone for. Let's see how much Shadow Sneak does here. Yeah, see, that didn't do too much. So now the question is, what speed tiers do we have going on here? Just gonna Raging Bull. As if I'm faster, because I am Jolly, they probably could be Adamant. It could also be Jolly, because they outsped my Mimikyu in the previous turn. So I don't remember who's faster. The Paldean Tauros has a little bit different stats from normal Tauros. I think it's a little bit stronger, a little bit slower. And speed tiers is something I'm not really that strong at, so I always forget. Okay, they're going to switch out, which is fair enough. And now they're going to go into Sylveon. Oh no. Sylveon, no! Yeah, I don't think that was the play. So, unfortunately for my opponent, they are going to get curb stomped here a little bit. I guess what they were hoping is that I'd see a normal type, I would click a fighting type move, and then that would win them the game as they go into Sylveon. But that's not how we're playing. We're playing with just click the strongest move, not what's super effective. I don't think fighting type necessarily matters, unless this Sylveon is Choice Scarf, but we know that it's not Choice Scarf because we already saw the Choice Scarf on the Dragapult. But for some reason, if it had outsped me because I was tripping or something, then getting rid of my fighting type would have been nice there. And getting rid of my fighting type is also really good against the Mimikyu in case it does outspeed me, because I will resist Play Rough now, and they can have Shadow Sneak, but they are now actually weaker than they would have been before. So this is great. I think going 3-0 to start off is a pretty solid. That's pretty solid, you know. All right, Raging Bull will finish us off. That's the crazy part about Terastallization. But because I was able to call that normal type Mimikyu could be a thing, I am sort of pleased that I was able to identify that as a potential option. My Mimikyu that I have right now is a fighting type Mimikyu. I actually got that fighting type Mimikyu out of a raid myself. And I looked at it and I said, I can use Drain Punch on this Mimikyu, and that would be really clever. And I think it is pretty clever. I think it's a really nice option to be able to have a fighting type Drain Punch, make it nice and strong on Mimikyu. But looking at it defensively, I don't know if it's as strong as normal type would be, especially in a metagame where there's tons of Mimikyu. So that's definitely something to consider. All right, so we're still in beginner tier, Pokeball tier, whatever you want to call it. But going 3-0, like, can't complain about that. Let's see, have I not talked about anything on this team? So the Toxtricity's Throat Spray with normal type Boom Burst. I mean, normal type Boom Burst Toxtricity isn't some kind of revelation. Everybody knows about it. It's a pretty low-hanging fruit in terms of Toxtricity tech. But I also got that one from a raid den, and I said, I definitely need to pick that up. I got lucky with that one. Okay, here we got just one ghost type. Rangaroo is the psychic type. We got Annihilate. I'm definitely bringing Mimikyu again. And I think I might lead off with my Tauros, in case they want to lead off with their Tinkaton. And then bringing the Mimikyu 100,000%. And bringing Toxtricity sounds really good against this team. Especially because if I'm a normal type, I will be immune to Rage Fist. It's a very scary proposition. between clicking super effective or neutral rage fist versus resisted drain punch, I feel like a lot of people would probably click rage fist. However, it is fairly obvious the Toxtricity would click throw spray, or would click normal type boom burst. So they might click drain punch still because the Toxtricity doesn't have the best defenses. Just thinking about the potential matchup that we could be having here in the future. So Mimikyu definitely is great for the Mousehold. Mousehold is a very cheesy Pokemon. I feel like you bring it to force your opponent to bring a ghost type. But at the same time, because of the ubiquity of Mimikyu, I'm not really being forced to run a ghost type. I just have a ghost type. In my opinion. I don't know. Scizor is an interesting option that you can run. But this team itself, I don't know how well that does with Scizor. Alright, my opponent seems to have ran out of time here. Let's see if they actually got their Pokemon chosen properly. Okay. Okay, Tinkaton good. Yeah, once again, the Tinkaton starts off on the floor. Why is the Tinkaton starting off on the floor? Is it because the ground plane of the battle arena is not affixed yet? I'm not sure. Alright, let's just click Raging Bull here. They maybe focus Sash, but there's nothing I can do about that. As they are. This is fine. They'll probably get up Stealth Rock here. Oh. You know, that's funny. So because they've been pickpocketing my Choice Band, I believe that means that they are locked into Thunder Wave, right? So what if I go into my Toxtricity here? That could be an interesting option, right? Because if I understand the mechanic here and how it works, then they're going to be locked into Thunder Wave. I can actually set up a shift gear with my Toxtricity, be very fast, and then I can go for a Boom Burst or no Overdrive or whatever I want. Get my Throat Spray, and then I'll be +2 speed, +1 special attack. Hopefully I'm not incorrect in my mechanics, but if they go for, you know, Gigaton Hammer, it still will be resisted. But yeah, they click Thunder Wave just hoping to sack their Pokemon. But I can actually exploit this and shift gear up. So that'll be good. Man, I wish I had a way to boost my special attack and my... Like if this were a Quiver Dance or something, that'd be fantastic. My opponent is in a really bad position right now. There's a Thunder Wave again. At this point, there's no reason for me to get greedy. I think I should outspeed just about everything. And yeah, see here, if they decide to switch out into something, I don't want to be wasting time going for more shift gears that I don't need. As they do just go hard into Scizor here. And I take an Overdrive. And I will resist the Bullet Punch because I'm still Electric type. So this is a really fantastic outcome for me. So I really don't think they should have gone for the switch. I understand them wanting to not let me set up, but at the same time, I can't, like I said, I can't really set up my special attack. I guess I could have been a physical set and they don't know that, but that is still a thing. Okay. What are they trying to go for here? I'm just going to go for Overdrive again. I don't think it'd be a normal type Mousehold. If anything, maybe a ghost type Mousehold. And if they're going to be a normal type here, that shouldn't change anything. Let's see what they are. What are you? You're normal type. Yeah, I figured normal type Mousehold makes a lot of sense. That's what you want to be. And they may be fast, but I'm +2 speed now. So yeah, we got a Toxtricity sweep to end today's video off. This is fantastic. This is a really cool example of why Pickpocket can really backfire on you. Because Multibreaker, as we saw in the previous game, I think is the preferred option in Battle Stadium singles. Because the Gigaton Hammer can go through Mimikyu's disguise. But the Pickpocket really messed up my opponent because now they're locked into a Choice Band. And that allowed me to set up. So we get a swift 3-0 to end today's video off. I will definitely take that. That was a fantastic way to end things off. All right. So, yeah, the team did pretty well. I didn't get to use Baxcalibur at all, but the Tauros put in work, the Toxtricity did, and the Meowscarada, surprisingly, did a decent amount of damage to a lot of teams. So I'm pretty pleased with how that ended off, and yeah, I'll be doing more Battle Stadium singles in the future, at least in the beginning. I didn't want to do too much in Sword and Shield previously, because I don't really like it when it gets too spammy with the legendaries. And as soon as the Chiyu and Shenpao get added into this, and maybe Landorus and some of the other Pokemon come back, we'll see how I'm feeling about it at that point. But especially with the restricted Pokedex like this, I actually really do enjoy this kind of online battle. So yeah, we'll probably be doing some more here in the future as I get more teams built. And yeah, that'll be it for today, and I'll catch you guys next time.